Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So last month there were reports about a male softball player playing on a women's team. This team actually won a state title. Now this person never was officially known as a transgender player. This male athlete was actually masquerading, I would say, as a female athlete. The female players on the team and the female opponents were unaware that this person is male. This person enrolled in school as a female, has identification that says female, so naturally ended up playing on the girls' team. And that's where we're at now. And this is one of those cases that highlight the importance of sex screening when it comes to the women's category. But the reality is this softball player is a 6', 17-year-old male and clearly has an advantage over the female players. As a pitcher, the difference is evident. This person is able to display abilities that don't come very easily to the female athletes. And it's no coincidence that this school won a state title. And that hasn't been lost on many who are monitoring these stories and highlighting them to show the injustice against female athletes, against women and girls when it comes to sports. And one person who spoke about the story was Riley Gaines. She noticed that the sporting body turned off their comments on their X page. She casually mentioned it, and that got the attention of Simone Biles. Simone Biles responded, insulting Riley Gaines, comparing her to a male, and this story blew up even further. So more people became aware of yet another example of a male athlete masquerading as a female and getting to play on the women's team. But now this story is being reported as a transgender player being allowed to compete in sports. Let the kids play, let the kids play. Don't deny them the opportunity to compete. It's so important. Don't be a bigot. That's how this story is being presented now. But apparently, it seems that people aren't buying it anymore. The fact is, when somebody is male, they should not be permitted to compete on a girls' team. We have categories in sports for a reason. And we go even further as to say that even somebody who's been transitioned from a very early age, this person's birth certificate was changed at the age of 9, which shows you how early this person's parents decided to transition their child. Very tragic, if you ask me. So we had coaches going from praising this player, praising their athlete, to now going quiet after the story blew up the way it did. And now we're noticing that this person's name is no longer at the forefront when it comes to this particular division of softball. Interesting. So this male athlete goes by Marrissa Rothenberger in Minnesota, who plays in softball in the 4A division. Rothenberger has a 12-1 record, a 0.74 ERA, and 105 strikeouts in just 14 games. Was also named Player of the Month last year as well. One female athlete who didn't know that this person was male was shocked and said the following: "We were never really that close because I never had anything in common with him. I never thought he was a boy, but after finding out he was a boy and then looking back on a lot of things I wouldn't have looked at before, it definitely shows he is a boy." And she discovered this person's true identity last year during the 2023-24 season. No one was really talking about it. Lots of people from the softball community found out the truth and were openly talking about it. Many players and I work so hard to achieve something through this sport, and we find it unfair that our spot can be stolen from us. This shouldn't be allowed, and boys can stay in boys' sports and leave us girls alone. I shouldn't have to learn this lesson that girls don't matter, or that we need to just be silent while we lose out so a boy feels okay. And this is one of the female athletes who spoke out to Redux anonymously. Kim Jones of Icons stressed the importance of sex screening when it comes to the female category, because we've seen so many examples of male athletes masquerading as female athletes, not even being labelled transgender. They're being seen as female players, when in fact they are male. And they have the ID that says female too. They enroll in school as females. This has happened time and time again, and we've seen it go all the way to the Olympics. She said, "We are seeing the first drips through the faucet of young boys who were subjected to gender ideology from a really young age, and there are thousands more of these boys out there now who are even younger and will impact girls' sports for the next decade in increasing numbers. Policymakers need to think beyond men like Leah Thomas. Looking at birth certificates and enrollment history is not enough. We need sex screening so that girls and women aren't left with an even more difficult situation in 10 years. Sex is not private information and can be screened through already universally required pre-participation physicals, which include medical history or a simple cheek swab. So the fact that the sporting body deleted its comments on its X page was evidence enough that they knew they screwed up. And it was a reaction to the backlash and to the outrage. And now we have more evidence that those involved in all of this, that those who have enabled this, are aware that they screwed up big time by allowing this in the first place. They have compromised the female category, the women's division, rather than protect it and ensure its integrity so that women and girls could have safe and fair sports, something that they are entitled to by law. So it has now been noticed that Rothenberger was absent from the Minnesota Fast Pitch Coaches Association list. This is something that coaches nominate their players for. No sign of Rothenberger, despite being Player of the Month, despite being a star pitcher, despite being on the winning team. This person's name was absent. This was a list from the 2025 All-State Honors, and this comes a year after getting first team honors. So after noticing this, Fox News Digital reached out to Rothenberger's coach to ask whether this player was nominated, and they are yet to hear back. But let's hear from one of the coaches praising Rothenberger.
We're great in the circle. Our pitchers do a phenomenal job. We have 2 young pitchers, Ava Abramson and Marrissa Rothenberger, and they've been doing a phenomenal job. They keep us in every game, and then we string hits together. Chaska's a top 10 team. I mean, they've been in it all year. You know, and you save this game to the end, you know, as a prep to go into sections. So to win this and be on a high going into sections is huge.
And I believe it's because they know and they can no longer deny that all of these wins and accolades are fraudulent. Because this team had a male player in a women's division. There is no justification for that whatsoever. There's a possibility they did not know. Because a lot of people didn't, because this person enrolled in school as a female and had identification that said female. But that only stresses the importance of the sex screening and making sure that in order to participate in a woman's division, you have to have had a cheek swab. You have to prove that you are female. And it is actually very easy to do that. It's not invasive at all. Athletes have to go through all these screenings anyway. So I believe the sporting body is well aware that allowing a male athlete to compete in a woman's team is wrong, that it means that the state title was not obtained legitimately, even when a male player or a male athlete has been on puberty blockers, all of those kind of medications, they still have advantages simply by being male. And we're talking about pitching here, being able to throw faster, throw harder, all of that is going to be a factor. That means that it isn't fair nor safe for female athletes to be competing against this person. This person is competing in the wrong category. Could this be a sign that the pretense is over? That people are no longer going to go along with this? More importantly, sporting bodies, coaches, those in authority, whose job it is to protect the female category, are no longer going to go along with this and keep up this facade. And this is something that schools should not be encouraging. Telling your boys that they're in the wrong body, putting them on medication, that is something that should not be incentivized by then allowing them to participate in girls' sports and to achieve all these accolades, achievements that objectively speaking will come easier to somebody who is male playing in the women's division. And then having female athletes having opportunities taken from them, having state titles taken from them, having scholarships taken from them. Because these male athletes have been known to take scholarships that were put aside for girls. No sporting body, no school should be encouraging that or allowing it. But until they introduce the sex screening, the gender tests to safeguard from this happening again, it's going to continue to happen, unfortunately. So we need to see real measures put in place to prevent it. So do you think the absence of this person's name means anything? Or is it just a coincidence? So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.